Okay, so today we're here with Sifu Amin Jani. Amin is like a true legend in the telekinesis energy community and stuff like that. Could you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background, a little bit how you got into spirituality and telekinesis and Neigong and Qigong and stuff like that, Amin?
Okay, sure. That is a good question. I did start training when I was a child, young. My interest was just because I saw a kung fu movie, one of those old the 70s movies, and those guys were like flexible and flipping around, and I thought they're pretty amazing. So I was like, oh, I want to be superhuman like that on one level. That kind of got me interested in martial arts as a young child, and then as far as like meditation and all that energy kind of thing, at the same time, I didn't even know that stuff really existed out there in that way. But I, as a child though, like liking fantasy things, thought magicians, wizards, and mages were amazing, like characters like Merlin, for example. I really loved Merlin when I was a kid too. So that kind of stuff. So I wanted to have like telekinesis and remote viewing, astral projection as a child. So I started learning how to meditate and do well, which at the time I didn't know was chakra work or mudras and stuff like that. I was doing what was stuff I got out of the old kung fu magazine books. They had these like little section where they had books they would sell and you could order them. So my sixth birthday, I asked my mom to like order these books for me, and she gave me these. She got me all these ninja books that I wanted, and like so they had all these meditations with breathing and like chakra and hand symbols. So I started doing that while I was actually going to taekwondo class, and then I later started taking Shaolin Kung Fu, and then after all that, by the time I'm like in my early 20s and stuff, I had stopped doing everything, and then when I got to like 25, I started getting interested about staying younger and more youthful because I was getting older. I was 25, and I was like, man, I wish I was 20 still. So I started doing some more research about youth and stuff because I was already into Chinese medicine more as a teenager and Buddhism as a teenager. My mom gave me the teachings of Buddha. I read that when I was 17, and that had like an eye-opening experience for me. And then yeah, so anyway, so I had some direction to already like look back on from my youth, and then so I said, all right, let's look at this Chinese medicine stuff. What do they got to say about immortality, if there's anything in there? And so I started getting really interested into it, and everything started talking about qi and tai chi, and tai chi was also for martial arts. As a martial artist, I was attracted to tai chi. Then when you get deep into tai chi, there's Qigong, there's this internal training, and it all comes back to this qi and this energy stuff. So I
Right,
started
right.
Yeah, right. So I started getting interested in chi training. So I found teachers who would teach me. One of them was a Tai Chi master guy from Hawaii, and he's an amazing teacher. And then there's these other guys from the Chi Power that came, the Sifu Jones, all these guys. They hit me up and it was like, hey, you seem to be pretty adept to this kind of stuff. So they wanted to teach me more stuff, and I learned a lot more. But I caught on really quickly. And it's pretty funny because the first 25 years of my life, I never felt chi. Even though I did all these exercises and all these trainings when I was younger, I still didn't feel it. Even back then, my Shaolin Kung Fu teacher was like, he said, I don't feel the chi or anything like that, but I use all these mechanics and it's just for
Right,
show and all
right,
this kind of,
right,
yeah. So I was
right, right,
disappointed with all
right.
that.
Right.
But,
So, in your
but
opinion, is it more important for someone to practice qigong, or is it more important for someone to practice psychokinesis? I mean, there's recently the psychokinesis energy movement is growing right now and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that are getting involved with telekinesis, psychokinesis without practicing qigong and stuff like that. Does that frustrate you a little bit? Do you think that's a bad thing, or do you think it's not? It doesn't really matter. What is your opinion on that?
actually, I don't think it really matters because there's a lot of different systems out there of things, and I'm not talking about just like qigong systems or like qigong and igong or like tai chi or
Hmm.
yoga and pranayama and all
Hmm.
these familiar kundalini things like that. There's
Hmm.
other things out there too, like the new wave like the New Thought movement that happened in the 1800s. There, that's where basically mentalism came about, going back all the way to things like Kabbalion uh, stuff. So you have these kind of people who had their own techniques of practicing, trying to
Mhm.
achieve mental power,
Mhm.
mastery. So qigong
Right.
is more than just that. That's why it doesn't. I'm not saying, hey, you know, you got to practice qigong, you get superpowers from qigong. 'Cause, I mean, side effects from qigong is like what you would call superhuman abilities. And
Right. Right.
if you are trying to get good at telekinesis, that is a good way to practice something to help you
Right, right, right.
improve.
So, right, right. So, I'm not super familiar with the Mopai or John Chang or anything like that, but I know you've touched upon it in your past videos and stuff like that. Could you, and you, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were saying something along the lines of it could be dangerous if you train in the Mopai or the John Chang way of doing things in order to try and achieve telekinesis. Am I correct on that, or?
Yeah, actually, that's like a really okay. That's a very good question, and I know a lot of people like who saw my thing saying that it's dangerous or it's not a good way for telekinesis. I got some haters for it. It's like one of my only videos I got like hate on. It was
Oh,
because
okay, okay.
yeah, it's because I wasn't putting down the system. Maybe they took it personal that way or something like that. But
Oh,
what I
okay.
was what I was trying to say to them is that, okay, for telekinesis, it's not very effective thing to practice if your goal is telekinesis. And the main reason why is because they're focused on developing chi in that Dantian area.
Mhm.
And the reason why it's dangerous practicing putting chi in the Dantian is because if you want to do it in a way where it accumulates the power that they're doing it, you can hurt yourself because of the muscles that you have to use. You have to know how to be relaxed, but there's nerves in there, and your mind and your
Mhm.
breath has to be in sync, and you have to be calm. And if you do things like
Mhm.
fast or hard, if
Mhm.
you're tense and you're doing it quickly, you can hurt
Right,
those nerves and permanently damage like your
right,
internal
right,
network, okay,
right.
your nervous system.
Okay,
Um,
okay. Yeah. So, like, what is your take on that man, John Chang? I mean, obviously, he has such an impressive video of him, putting stuff on fire and stuff like that. What is your take on him? Like, do you consider him? I'm sure there's a lot of underground people that I've never heard of and stuff like that. But do you consider that guy uh, the most impressive energy practitioner? Um, that exists right now, or I'm so sorry about this ignorant question. I'm
no,
not hating on
no,
this John Chang guy at all,
no.
but is that man still even alive, and is he still around? I really don't know enough about him,
Okay.
but yeah, I just
No,
saw a clip.
he passed away already.
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay.
Rest in peace. But he was a very cultivated person, so he did achieve a lot. Only maybe a dozen people in a generation achieved what he's achieved through that
Wow.
that amount of arduous
Okay, okay. Do you
work and cultivation.
who in your opinion is the most impressive energy practitioner that you ever came across?
Well, myself.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. That's awesome.
No, but no, as far as coming across, there's a lot of great people out there. It's too many to count actually, because they're all impressive in their own little unique way too. Because
Right, right.
they've worked so hard on that one little thing for so long.
Right,
They've gotten
right,
really good at it, and they can do it really
right,
well.
right. I mean, I saw you. This is an old video. I'm sure you've gotten a lot better since then. Like I saw an old video of you, because I mean, you put out your first side wheel demonstration in 2009. Am I correct? That's been over a decade now. I mean, it's
That sounds
um,
about right. Yeah.
right, right. I mean, so I mean, that I guess, yeah, yeah. So that's another thing I wanted to ask you. How many hours do you practice on a regular basis? Qigong, Neigong, the hard body stuff, and all this kind of stuff.
Okay, that's a good question. So when going back to when I first got into everything, I was more interested in the immortality side,
Mhm.
and it led to chi work all the time. So I was doing a lot of chi work. I was off. I wasn't working, and so I had like all this time all day. I spent like 8 hours a day just working on
Wow.
energy, like yeah, on energy stuff, and the more I learned and the more I was able to feel and do things, then it was like a process. Like you start meeting people that tell you how to do things and show you things, and then it just keeps going, coming another person, or you'll go online, like on YouTube, you'll see somebody like Chang, and you're like, oh, that's cool, and then you'll see another Tai Chi master throwing a guy without touching him and just going like
Right,
this and all this
right,
kind. And so at that point, like back then, when I started seeing people do that kind of stuff, I was wondering, oh well, I feel the energy now. I think I can do it, like. So I started trying to practice, and it's actually a struggle. Both Tai Chi and telekinesis was a struggle when I first started trying to do it. Even though I felt like I could do it because of my old martial arts skills and because of how quickly, like within a few months, I was able to go from my whole life never feeling energy to now like feeling it,
mm-hmm,
like the force,
mm-hmm,
like 24 hours a day.
mm-hmm.
Thinking like, all right, I want to get this down like my first time I try. But no, it took me about like 5 months before I could move anything with telekinesis, and it took about that long before I could start doing anything with Tai Chi also. So
Wow, okay. Did you start out with a side wheel when you first started, or did you
yes,
try to move? Okay, okay, cool, cool. Okay, okay.
yes, I had it in a container when I first started and
Oh,
originally.
nice. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's currently seems like the most popular way of someone to develop their telekinesis. So,
but
right.
another good one, and I don't know if I forgot to mention it in my course or whatever. But if you hang something like a piece of paper from a string hanging down,
Mm-hmm.
that's even, I think, better than sidewell practice, because
Okay,
it's standing there and she will just chill, right?
okay.
And it's light, so then when you're sitting there and trying to move it, you could turn the paper
Right,
around.
right, right.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Amin, could you touch upon hard qigong or sorry, what do you call it? Hard body conditioning or what do you call that
There's
thing where you slap
the,
yourself with objects and stuff like that? Could you explain the importance and the significance of that a little bit. I'm actually that's something I never really done a whole lot. But I learned something called Paidalajin, where people just slap themselves and they're like healing all sorts of ailments that they have and stuff like that.
very
Um,
cool.
um, so essentially, basically, hitting yourself in your own body activates your blood flow and energy flow and stuff like that, and it's really healthy for you. Am I correct on that, or?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it for sure. And the wrong way, you'll hurt yourself with that training very badly. Like, and the right way, you should be able to do without hurting yourself. Um, it's a slow process though, and it does help open up the energy channels, and it does help strengthen your bones. So
Oh, okay.
if you're looking for the practical reason, then for fighting, whoever is going to have the harder bones is going to win, not the
Right, right,
muscles.
right. I don't know if you watch kickboxing a whole lot, but I mean, there's or Muay Thai, but like there's a Shaolin. Well, I guess he's not a real Shaolin guy, but have you seen the guy who can like take all these hits and stuff like that on YouTube? Um,
No, I haven't seen that.
okay, okay, yeah. I was
But I can.
wondering.
But go ahead. What's your what are you trying to get at with that? Because I can
I'm
picture it.
wondering if with these intense hard body conditioning that you can eventually get to the point where you can get kicked by you'll be able to get the point where you can you'll
Yeah,
feel pain after you get
take a hit without getting hurt. Yeah, yeah. It takes some time. So it takes like 2 years working with wood.
okay.
And I'm talking about the safe way. The safe way to use like these thin pieces of like wood, like skewers, a bunch of little skewers, and same with metal. There's wood and metal versions. I don't know what the American word for it is. It's like, it looks like a cooking utensil. I don't know. Reza, do you
Right,
know what that's called? No, never mind, never mind. So, anyways, they have these things that the sticks they bang themselves. They're not just straight rods, because the straight rods actually hitting yourself, you'll damage your nerves.
right.
The other ones, you won't damage your nerves, and as if you don't hit yourself too hard, and you don't need to hit
Right,
yourself. You don't actually have to hit yourself hard. You just have to hit yourself consistently. So you do 2 years
right,
of the wood, and then you go on to doing like another 2 years of the metal version afterwards, and
Right, right, right.
then that fifth year you have a hard body. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, okay. That's awesome. I definitely need to start doing that. Do you teach that? I mean, you made a video series. I should probably go back and watch that so I can learn that from you as well. Um, my next question is, do you train with like elemental psychokinesis, telekinetic abilities at all? Like, do you train with aerokinesis or summoning rain or like
Sure.
pyrokinesis, or do you do any of that stuff at all? I noticed that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you made a video doing aerokinesis or anything like that. If I'm
I don't I don't know if I have or not. Well, I think I have. I don't remember if I put it up or not. But um okay, yeah, I do practice them though. And I'm very actually adept at what you would say, I guess, aerokinesis or weather, affecting the weather. I've been
Wow,
doing
okay.
I've been able to do that naturally since I was a kid. That was like one of those weird things. Like when I was a kid, I don't know if you were when you were younger, like felt like you could just like go into a whole different world, like and visualize things that didn't even exist or see things that
Right,
weren't there.
right,
Like, with imagination, like sometimes I would just sit there upside down and then not blink for like as long as I
right,
could and see these
right,
different colors.
right.
Weird
Do
things,
you,
kids. Go ahead. What?
oh, sorry. By practicing Neigong, Qigong, but by the way, like, let me clarify something. Neigong is where you hold positions for a long, extended period of time, whereas Qigong is where you're moving your body. Am I correct on that, or?
Uh, uh, I have never actually looked at it that way, but some people, I guess, could consider it that way. But that's not necessarily true, though.
Okay.
There's moving in Qigong, and depending on what kind of
Oh, there
Qigong
is.
practice.
Okay.
It depends on the practice.
Sorry about that. I gotta. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Apologies for that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. No problem. Um, so Qigong, some practices do movements. Not all of them are just
Okay. Okay.
static. But
Okay.
Zhang Shuang is all static. Zhang
Oh,
Shuang,
there. I never heard of that. Okay. Okay.
Zhang
Interesting.
Shuang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So what would you say is the main difference between Neigong and Qigong? I'm from Japan, and so I know the kanji for Nei is means inner and stuff like that. So like, what is there something that's going on more internally, perhaps, or?
okay, so Neigong is usually referred to the practice you'd use to build up internal power. Okay, so like a Tai Chi practitioner would practice Neigong to build up his internal power so he can
Right,
fight with his Tai Chi better.
right.
And Qigong is not about building power. It's about increasing your level, your ability. So
Oh, okay, okay. I didn't know that. Interesting.
yeah.
So that goes back to my original question. So by practicing Neigong, has your Neigong and telekinesis and stuff like that. And when I say telekinesis, what you do with a psi wheel and stuff like that, has that improved your elemental powers as well? I heard so many different opinions from so many different people. I heard people say like, if you want to get good with the elemental stuff, you should strictly do the elemental stuff and not do psi wheels or moving cans or whatever. I heard so many different opinions from different practitioners that I've interviewed. What is your opinion? Do you think they're all the same thing?
Uh okay. And at the end it is the same thing. Actually, if you get good at telekinesis, you'll be good at doing anything from healing to aerokinesis to
Hmm.
any other ability, even lucid dreaming and astral projection,
Really? Okay, okay, interesting.
all the stuff is one and the same kind of thing. That,
Right, right, right. I think right,
but the
right.
thing to actually really keep in mind is though pick one thing to practice at a time. So
Oh, okay, okay.
it's not, you see what I'm saying? Like, so what they're maybe what they're saying is half right, because I'm saying like you do want to just, if you want to get good at something, just do one thing. If you doing more than one thing, it'd be hard to get good at it.
Oh, okay, okay. Interesting.
It's
That's
like, yeah, it's like if you wanted to become a good rapper, right? You would have to write a rap song every day. If you didn't write a rap song every day, you would never become a good rapper. But if you try to be
right,
a rapper and a beat maker, and you try to do both every day, that's really hard, right? And it'd be like harder to
right.
do both and get good at both. Like,
Right, right. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, okay.
not that it's
S-
impossible. I'm just saying it's not impossible to mix stuff up. It's just, difficult.
right, right. Okay, well, that's interesting. Okay, okay. You touched upon lucid dreaming and stuff like that. Do you practice lucid dreaming, astral projection, and perhaps like a remote viewing and ESP? And do you practice all these other metaphysical abilities as well?
Yeah, well, lucid dreaming is particularly my favorite of all things, though.
Oh
So
wow, okay, okay. Has lucid dreaming helped you? Like, say, like I've this is another thing that I've heard from people. Have a friend named Gemma who practices lucid dreaming, and she said that she was saying that she gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge in the dream realms and stuff like that, and that has improved her telekinetic metaphysical abilities greatly and stuff like that. Do you have a similar experience with that as well, or?
yeah, um, so even though the laws of physics are different in the dream world, your mind, you are your mind there. So like what we do when we practice stuff in the physical world, like we're trying to tap into that very subtle energy and feel that kind of energy and work with that subtle energy. But in the
Right.
dream, we are that subtle energy, and the way we learn how to use it, like in real life, like that's the way we use ourselves actually in the
Hmm.
dream all the time. So it's like
Hmm.
if so that's why those things go together. I'm saying when you learn like telekinesis, for example, it'll be good like lucid dreaming, right? So there's that aspect that makes you lucid, and then because you're used to using this mental energy, to do things, and you understand
Right.
yourself, do stuff. So now while you're there in that lucid state, then you can practice stuff like telekinesis in the dream and see amazing things happen. Like it's really fun to do telekinesis in dreams. Like I like for
Wow.
example, I'll go into a grocery store and I'll start making them the fruits all start moving around and get all the customers be like, ah, like in the dream. It's funny, it's fun, but
That's awesome.
like, yeah, so you come back with the real world with more insight and wisdom because you're like, oh man, that felt so easy and it worked that way, and
Right.
then you learn how
Right.
to recreate the feeling in real
Right.
life, and so then you get a lot better
Right. Okay. Okay.
results.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what is your ultimate goal with like these metaphysical abilities? Do you want to get to the point where you can levitate your body or something like that, perhaps, or do you want to get to the point where,
No, I've
um,
already done that.
wait, what? You've already levitated your own body?
Yeah, so that's
Really?
yeah, that's I'm not pursuing actually any of these things. They're all just side effects of trying to cultivate myself to be, my true potential as a person.
Wow. Okay. So I mean, you
That's
touched upon immortality earlier. Is that still something that you're pursuing? I mean, do you know who Alexander Kerkoling is? I mean, he's a
yes,
quadriplegic.
yes,
Yes. I
yes.
mean,
He was mine.
I'm pretty sure he'll be watching this as well. I'll send it to him. But he was talking about the rainbow body and stuff like that. I'm not super familiar with what that is, but I believe that's sort of like a immortality, maybe not quite an immortality, but I think it's something similar to that, where you're in a meditative state where your body doesn't die or something like that. Are you um uh like are you actually looking to like live forever, or
Be an earth immortal? Is that's like the
be
terminology
an
for it?
avatar, so to speak, or
An earth immortal is a person who, you mean physically does not die? Is that what you're trying to say? Like a physically not age and not die?
um
Is that what you're asking me?
yeah, 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 is that what you're pursuing currently, or?
Okay, so all the stuff from immortality and telekinesis, I used to pursue them. Um, they brought me towards actually understanding what cultivation is all about, and so now I cultivate, and those things are just a side effect of the cultivation. So
Right.
indirectly, yes, I am. I'm not pursuing it, but indirectly, I am cultivating those things. Yes.
Okay,
I am
okay.
actually, I'm directly on the path of immortality. Yes, as a Taoist, that's my belief. You could say it that way. Okay, so getting like very, if I had to just label everything what I'm doing, then yes, I would say okay, I'm Taoist and I'm practicing Taoist immortality
Okay,
because
cool.
I believe in these lesser, middle, and greater paths. I was telling Reza this the other night. I mean, um, I know you know Reza, but so like anyways, these three different paths, they have different end games, like end goals, like what they achieve. And so the the lesser path is what is going what they would call for a human immortality, which would be like living long and being healthy. Like, and living long would be mean like if the average age is like 76, then you live to like 86 or something, or maybe 90 or something. If you were
Right.
lucky, 100, 120, you'd be considered a human immortal. An earth immortal would be somebody who does not die on the, physically. They don't age
Wow.
and they don't die. And then there's spirit immortals, and those immortals that okay. So the middle path is for earth immortal, and then the greater path is for spiritual immortals.
Oh,
Spirit immortals, like,
interesting.
so when you die, you still maintain your consciousness and form, and you can still go do things after death. So there's immortality
Cool.
after death.
Awesome. Okay,
So
okay.
so then there's the belief that if you want to know the Tao, then you need to practice all three paths.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, okay. So,
And
um,
I'll give you an example of what those are like. So like
sure, sure. Yeah.
Mopai, for example, would be lesser path. Even though their goal is also immortality, it's that human immortality that they achieve. Is that they're focused on the dantian. The lesser path is always focused on filling the dantian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The middle path is about energy ascending and descending.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this microcosmic orbit or the
Mm-hmm.
central channel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that'd be like something practicing more like Wim Hof, right?
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, and then you would get into the greater um, practices, the paths, and they have to do with connecting the whole body together as one piece,
Oh, okay,
making
okay.
everything connected. And something very good like that is Qigong. It helps you do that kind of stuff. Okay.
Wow, okay, okay.
Uh,
Interesting. So, and like to your knowledge, has there actually been people that
like
actually
Falun Gong, huh? What?
right, right, I've heard of that as well. That
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. That didn't that get outlawed or banned or something like that in
In
China?
on China in China, yeah, yeah, that is unfortunate what happened down there with
Wow.
that.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So
But
to your knowledge,
yeah, go
has
ahead.
there? Oh, so sorry. What were we gonna say?
No, but I was going to simplify it. It's just yeah. So there's those three things that are about it is the connecting the energy. So I was gonna say you can look at it as like Nigong would be lesser path, and then you would say breath work would be the middle path, and then you would say like Qigong
Oh, okay.
would be the
Okay.
Qigong would be greater path. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. And so to your knowledge, has there been people that actually achieved these immortality states, so to speak, or
Yeah, there's definitely the spirit ones and the human ones. I don't know of any evidence if anyone's ever seen an Earth immortal walking around. That'd be pretty cool if somebody was like Highlander.
right,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
right.
I would like that. I mean that is I guess something that I would think would be nice to have. So.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
but
Okay.
but
Um. Right. Oh.
oh there's
Oh, sorry. Go
sorry.
ahead.
There's two other kinds of immortals too. There's ghost immortals and then there's celestial immortals.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Celestial immortals are spirit immortals who keep cultivating while they're a spirit, like they did when they're in the physical body. But
Right.
they keep cultivating as a spirit, and they eventually ascend to become a celestial immortal. Ghost immortals are people who just don't practice anything at all. When they die, they just are ghost immortals. So what makes a ghost immortal different than a spirit immortal is that a spirit immortal maintains his consciousness
Mm-hmm.
uh, and the ghost immortals, they're basically they don't maintain their consciousness. They're just the
Right.
unconscious version of you.
Right.
Yeah, the
Um.
subconscious parts only.
Right. Right. Okay. And so currently, are you like do you have like a physical Nagong school? Correct me if I'm wrong. You are living in Virginia right now, or?
Yeah,
So
Virginia.
do you have
No,
like a
well, I don't have a physical school. I was teaching at Mason and at the local health club over here. There's a local club that we have here,
okay, okay.
and yeah, the local university and the club. But now with coronavirus, no, yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
Cool. Okay. Okay. I noticed that I'm an internet marketer as well. I noticed that you're promoting John Crestani's course and stuff like that. I'll make sure I'll put that in your link in the description as well. What else did I want to? Oh, yes, yes. Uh, oh yeah, yes. Like, do you like offer healings for people and stuff like that? Or do you just teach qigong sorry, in your case, neigong to help people heal their body and stuff like that? Like, that's one thing I forgot to cover is healings. What is your
I
take
used
on healings?
I used to do healing, but I stopped doing it because it takes a lot of energy to do it,
Right.
and then there's also can be side effects taking on a person's negative energy to your
Mm,
own
okay. Okay.
system. So I
Interesting.
stopped doing it, but I do consult people still about it, so I can help them help themselves heal themselves,
Right,
help them
right,
get
right.
what they
So
can
do you
do.
think doing your system, the Black Dragon Neigong system, is could help people heal pretty much their ailments and whatnot?
The theory is, yeah. I mean, the theory is that when all the channels, all the meridians in the body are open, the chi's flowing properly, then disease does not occur in the body. So the whole point of the practice is to open up these channels in the body and let the chi flow to the yin and yang
Right,
chi.
right. So once you get to that point where your chi is free flowing, then that's when you are no longer going to have ailments. Essentially, am I
Correct, correct,
Okay,
correct,
awesome,
correct.
awesome. Okay, okay. So really, if someone is listening to this right now and they're, in need of healing, I mean, the best thing probably to do is to just practice Neigong or Qigong. Um,
Yeah, yeah, that does help. Over time, it's not going to be an instant fix. So over time,
right.
I haven't gotten sick, knock on wood, or caught a cold or anything, knock on wood, if that's the thing even. But I haven't gotten sick in like over 15 years. So,
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
uh,
Sorry, I hate asking people for their age, but I mean, how old are you, Ahmed?
39.
39. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. Okay. So you've been practicing telekinesis. You said you started out telekinesis itself at 25. Am I correct? So you've been doing it for
Yeah,
roughly 15, 14, 15 years, roughly.
right. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Okay. That is
I guess
so.
at the same time I started practicing all the energy stuff is when I stopped. I never got sick again after that.
Right. Right. That's awesome. That is so
Yeah. So the
incredible.
chi is real, you guys. If you're trying to heal yourselves or stay healthy, it's better than insurance.
Right, right. Yeah, that is so cool. Okay, okay. Awesome, Amin. Yeah, you have so much tremendous wisdom.
No, insurance is good though.
I can probably ask you a million more questions, but I think we'll wrap this up for now. But yeah, thank you so much for this interview, Amin. I mean, I can't thank you enough. I think you're phenomenal, and
Oh
um,
well,
yeah, I would love to actually start seeing you do more. I mean, you got a new website, Telekinesis Academy, which I've joined, and I think the forum's awesome. I wish more people could join that forum, So
yeah, it's actually growing pretty nicely. So we're at telekineticacademy.com is at 112 users right now.
nice,
Uh,
nice. Okay,
they're just
okay.
not all very active. Only a handful of people
Right,
are active, but
right, right.
it's yeah, we're getting like something between like 5 to 10 people a day, right? Signing
Nice,
up.
cool. Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to, seeing that grow and
yeah.
seeing your channel grow as well. I've been a huge fan of your channel for probably like, a couple of years now. So
Well, I
yeah.
hope you've been finding it useful, my friend, and helpful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love the interaction because like I feel like you're because I come from the AMI, evolved ministry type people's hanging out with more those people more. I've always wanted to kind of hang around your crowd a little bit more, the qigong crowd, so to speak. So yeah, and that's kind of what I'm transitioning to perhaps right now a bit. So yeah, so
Oh, very cool, man. Very cool.
yeah, so
I appreciate you taking the time to interview me.
Oh yeah, well thank you so much. It's yeah, you're one of the top people that I've wanted to always interview and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's yeah, I can't thank you enough. So yeah, so
Yeah, thank you.
by the way, do you know Cottrell pretty well or?
I can't say I do.
Oh okay, yeah, yeah, because I interviewed him maybe a month or two ago or something like that. So yeah, so.
This, I guess I'll check out whatever you recorded.
Oh yeah, no, because I noticed that he was endorsing, your on his YouTube channel, endorsing your the telekinetic academy.
Who,
So
who, who?
the black gentleman.
Oh, okay. So I think I know who you're talking about. Genetic Awakening.
No, 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 that's Dwayne. That's Dwayne's a great friend of mine. Cottrell is the guy that does like kind of like you, a martial artist, African
Oh,
American gentleman.
oh, okay. So I'm not too familiar.
Okay, yeah, yeah, but he was, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he put a made a YouTube video saying like, hey guys, check out this new awesome site that Amin created.
Oh,
So
oh, that's very nice of him. I got to thank him.
yeah, so yes, I thought you guys, and I look up to him as well. I mean, by the way, I've done martial arts and stuff like that my whole life as well. Not like kung fu. I come from more of a wrestling, judo, BJJ, very grappling heavy background, but yeah, I've done martial arts my whole life pretty much as well. So
Very cool.
yeah,
Very
so
cool.
yep. So okay, well, I mean, well, like I said, thank you so much for this interview. I can't thank you enough, and you have a great rest of your day. And I'm excited to
Thank you.
continue to learn from you and your channel as well. So
Okay, cool. I'm glad you're here with me, and I appreciate you again interviewing me, and good questions. I love answering the questions, and they're also good stuff. I like to make video. Remember, just anytime you got good ideas or good questions, put them in the website, put them on the comments on the videos and stuff like that, and I'll be happy as I can.
okay, awesome. Thank you.